Italian arsehole news now. And there was, of course, a terrible disaster this week when a cruise ship sank off the coast of Italy. But it is worth us pausing for a moment to acknowledge not just the tragedy, but the emergence of a new unmitigated dickbag in the form of the Italian captain of the ship. Because it seems that Captain Schettino, the Berlusconi of the seas, ran the ship aground after going off course to salute and wave at a friend of his that lived on a nearby island. And if that wasn't enough to provide proof of his dickbaggery, then he got into a lifeboat ahead of his passengers, and there then emerged a spectacular phone conversation between him and a local official where they shouted at each other in the Italian manner, loudly and presumably with wild arm gesticulations. I can only imagine from listening to the phone call that they were both wearing Bluetooth earpieces as they talked, because they both needed both of their hands to wave around to punctuate each point.
Well, you have to say that the invention of the hands-free kit is probably the single most important technological development in Italian history.
It really is an incredible piece of tape. It's worth listening to. The only way that the conversation could have been any more Italian was if Captain Schettino had been in the lifeboat and then paused their conversation to shout at an attractive woman swimming by.
Yeah.
Ciao, Bella. Hey, beautiful lady. Where you go? Where you go?
Well, that is one of the other accusations against him, that he was essentially doing that at the time, that he was seen chatting to a beautiful lady on the bridge of the ship. But I think, as you say, you mentioned he's the Berlusconi of the seas, and I think this is the thing, John. This is, I mean, he has certainly done his bits for national stereotypes, let's give him that, but this is learnt behaviour. He has spent the last 10 years having a Prime Minister who has spent his time doing idiotically ludicrous things just to get attention, and kicking about with hot chicks instead of doing his very important job properly. So is it that surprising that the ship captains of Italy have started doing the same? This is yet another thing that Berlusconi has to answer for, John.
But there was another man who stepped up, Andy, because one of the things shouted by the heroes of this story, the official on the other end of that phone call, Gregorio De Falco, has become so popular that T-shirts are now being sold across the country to celebrate it. At one point, this Coast Guard shouted, "Vada a bordo, cazzo," which loosely translated means, "Get back on the boat, for f***'s sake." Come on. That's good stuff, Andy. One man questions your faith in Italian men, and one man instantly restores it. The conversation goes on with Captain Schettino saying that he can't get back on the boat because it's dark and he can't see anything, to which Coast Guard De Falco responds, "So, what do you want to do? Go home, Schettino? It's dark and you want to go home? Go to the bow of the ship where the ladder is and tell me what needs to be done. Listen, Schettino, perhaps you've saved yourself from the sea, but I will make you look very bad. I will make you pay for this. Damn it, go back on board for f***'s sake." You might think, well, surely Schettino's behaviour can't get any worse. Please. Give this man some credit for deserving no credit whatsoever. Because he told investigating magistrates in Grosseto on the Italian mainland that he ended up in the lifeboat by accident because he fell into the lifeboat after tripping. Yes, this is his defence. He tripped and fell into the lifeboat. His exact quote was, "Suddenly, since the ship was a 60 to 70 degree angle, I tripped and I ended up in one of the boats. That's how I found myself there." I mean, are we absolutely sure, Andy, that this captain isn't Silvio Berlusconi wearing a very elaborate captain costume?
Well, it's the kind of excuse that a man would come up with when he's turned up at A&E with his penis in a pineapple. I slipped and fell. And
one final detail, Andy, to formally induct this man into the Bugle Dickbaggery Hall of Fame. A taxi driver who took him to a hotel on Saturday morning after the ship had crashed told a news agency that Captain Schettino had asked only where he could buy some socks. Let's be clear. This man, Francesco Schettino, is now the standard by which other dickbags should be judged.
Another recording has suggested the ship's crew downplayed the emergency and said that they were investigating a blackout rather than that they had just smashed a f***ing great boat into a f***ing rock, which many believe would have been a more salient message to convey to the emergency services. But I guess we're British, we can sympathise. We're brought up not to make too much of a fuss about these things. It was the same on the Titanic. Don't worry about rescuing us. We'll just drown in peace. Please don't go out of your way. The Titanic, of course, went down in a similar fashion after Captain Smith was goaded by his buddies into a traditional scissors, paper, stone nautical variant, ship volcano iceberg. which iceberg sinks ship, volcano melts iceberg, and ship bungs up volcano.